Okay, so just so we're clear, anybody who tries to do anything or attempt to do anything to hurt me or my children during this process, I'm just calling out because I cannot deal with it. So just to make that clear, so things are getting fixed here with the landlord. They came today and they're supposed to come back tomorrow again. However, I don't appreciate him saying he's going to have his attorney call my kid's attorney. Like, fuck off. Anyways, so Eric D., Gino's attorney, and I were buddies now. Okay, we're pals. We met at the law library a few weeks ago. There was nothing accomplished, and the proposal that he gave me that took forever to give was basically asking me to sign to agree to take way less of my retirement than than I deserve, and then divorce him and not get anything else. And I'm not doing that. So, anyways, me and Eric D, we're pals now. You know, he knows me pretty well at this point, and when Gino isn't looking, he smiles and waves at me in the courtroom. However, he likes to interrogate me on the stand. Um, I mean, not that bad though. It's almost like I see it as a joke at this point, but I'll tell you about that. Then Judge Benoni, she was actually nice. I mean, a lot nicer to me yesterday. And usually I can maybe only get out one sentence, and that is, extremely difficult to even get one sentence out in court. Well, yesterday I got to talk a lot, so that was good. I mean, she did get mad several times, but it's okay. Like, it's fine. So, first, I went up on the stand and I told my side of the story of what happened with Melissa, how I found out about the bigamist marriage, and and about the vaccine. So, and Judge Benoni was questioning me, and I was talking, and she did get pretty mad when I brought up the 25-page contempt order because she said I didn't bring my kids' vaccine exemptions. I had sent them to the Guardian, and my last attorney had included them in the 25-page contempt motion. Anyways, I should have brought them, but anyway, she said that the contempt motion, she just keeps saying, like, she got so mad. She just refuses to, because she refused to hear that motion. Well, she's saying that my attorney never filed it. She never filed it, but she did, and I have proof that Judge Benoni approved to hear the motion, but that's besides the point. So, and then I said on the stand, and if I wasn't allowed to go to, oh, and before court started, the bailiff came out and he was like, Jennifer, he's like, I just want you to know, like, please do not talk. If Judge Benoni tells you not to talk or, um, whatever. And I said, that's fine. I said, but do you understand that last time I had to defend myself? I had to say something because she was threatening to put me in jail. So I'm perfectly fine without talking, but as long as I'm not going to be threatened, to be put in jail. And so I had to defend myself, that I was told I could go to sports. And he's like, Jennifer, or he calls me Jen. He's like, I totally understand. I totally get it. He's like, I just definitely do not want to have to be the person to put you in cuffs. And I was like, okay. So then they brought me out Rebecca's letter, and then the Guardian came in, and I walked over to him and I'm like, have you read Rebecca's report? And he acted like he had just gotten it like right then. However, in court, he testified that he had talked to Rebecca, all about this and why she made, her decision, which I talked about in the last video. So, which still is not fair and doesn't make sense. So, Judge Benoni is going to bring Rebecca in. So, at this point, like, I don't know. So, Judge Benoni doesn't feel like it's an emergency. So, like, my emergency order was basically, it was denied. And however, the one thing that would have been, I believe, considered emergency is Melissa punching me. However, everyone is denying, except for me and Gino, that truly did happen and that there really has been charges filed. So even the Guardian, so, obviously they still want to keep my kids from me. And this is an emergency, and most people would be granted emergency custody, and then you are supposed to have a 10-day hearing after that to prove that it is legit. And then after 1 year, an emergency custody order is supposed to just dissolve and like go away. Well, here we are. This is still an emergency custody order that my kids were taken on, and it's been, well over a year now, and no 10-day hearing. So anyways, so I talked, and then she, asked me questions, and I explained how I found out about the bigamous marriage, and she was trying to question me, and she was saying that there was never any messages on the Wizard about it, which there was one message on the Wizard about it last spring, but I honestly did not reply to them about that because I didn't even believe that it was true. So then I told her about, going about Melissa's text messages, her telling people, and her talking about it to people on Facebook, and my son's friend's mom telling me that they had like a reception and everything, like a wedding. So, so then Eric D starts to question me. So he wants to know like what time I arrived at the dance studio, which was 6:25. I don't know. He was not expecting me to answer that. I think he was going to try. They were trying to say that I arrived late, which they were actually the ones that arrived late. So he then wants to know if I went to the police station to file an ICC. So the day before yesterday, I went and met with this attorney who is a very well-known attorney in Greensburg, and I have talked to him multiple times over the last year and a half. And I'm 99% sure, because I'm the one that I told him that I was told to file an ICC. So, which I have the right to do. However, I didn't tell anybody else that other than like a couple close friends. So I said yes. He's like, you went to the police station to file an ICC. What were you doing at the police station? I'm like, well, actually, the guy that, pressed charges against Melissa, the officer, he wanted me to come in to fill out a written statement because I had not done that yet. He was not going to be there. He knew I was not going to, or that he wasn't going to be there when I was able to come. I went to the police station, filled out my written report. While I was there, I spoke with a new cop that I had not met yet, and he said, why I somehow started talking about the PFA that I have against Gino, and he was like, why didn't you mention that? And I was like, well, I didn't think about it. And so he was like, well, that changes things, and you could hold him in contempt because that she's someone who lives with him and she's assaulting me. He's told me, so the Monroeville police station, I said on the stand, is who told me to file an ICC, which I have not done yet. And I don't know what I'm going to do about that. So I'm not sure. Okay, so I'm thinking about a couple things else I want to say. So then the ICC, and then he wanted to know something about me contacting the church or something. I forget, something came up. That's when he was something came up. He was questioning about the bigamist marriage, and then he's like, and did you contact the church about that marriage? And he looks at me like all mean, and I was like, well, I have been in contact with the church, and whatever, so what? And then he asked me, his last question for me was, do you like Melissa? He's like looking at me all mean, and I was like, or is it true that you don't like Melissa? And I was like, well, I don't really even know her, but I don't like that, she's doing these things to my kids, keeping them oppressed, not letting them call me, taking them to the doctor and pretending to be their mother and making medical decisions for them that could be harmful. So I don't like that. And he was like, no further questions. So then she asked if they wanted to call Gino to the stand, and Eric D sat there for a second and thought about it, and then he said that yes, he had a few questions for him. So he brings him to the stand. I honestly don't even remember what he was asking. I think he may have been asking, like, talking to him about me messaging the church people. So at one point I had to say, like, look, I've gone to that church for a long time while I was in jail. Biscuit! while I was in jail, they started attending this church while I was in jail, and then they get married and blah 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 blah. So then I get Gino on the stand, and I'm like, and a lot of them are my Facebook friends, which, by the way, none of my Facebook friends who are affiliated with Grace Life Church will be seeing this video unless someone shares it with them, but I'm going to restrict them all from it. So then, and at this point, I'm ready to be friends with Judge Benoni. Like, let's be friends. Like, I will not be mad at you. Like, okay, this is fucked up and crazy, but please see it for what it is. And I kind of just have a vibe that I was able to make Gino look so dumb and like a liar that he is on the stand, that, and just looks so fucking stupid, that even though he was trying to make me look bad at the same time, but I hope that she's like opening her eyes, and you know, maybe she's giving me a chance to talk, like as like redemption or something for me or her or whatever. I don't know, like the situation, because I haven't been able to talk. So I was able to talk and, you know, question him yesterday about these things. So I mean, who gets to question their husband on a witness stand? So and that went on probably for like 25 minutes of me questioning him. It would be definitely worth getting the transcript. So I asked him, like, did you, and I got in trouble a couple of times because I would want to speak to him like a conversation, and we would start talking, but I have to say, everything I say has to be worded as a question. So I'd be like, I'm sorry, I'm new at this. Like, I didn't prepare. You know, I just moved and I have a concussion and I'm now my own attorney for the first time. So he's on the stand, and I asked him something about the spiritual marriage. I forget exactly how I said it yesterday. Like, I was told Jen while I was getting my breaks down, like the whole story. She could probably read it better than I can because my brain is like fried now. But basically, he admitted that they had a marriage ceremony. They got married by Pastor Buck, and, you know, Judge Benoni wanted to know who was saying these things at the church because she questioned him after, and I just find it interesting that she wanted to call out who. So I'm like, thank you. Like, now I know who. And even though I forget the one name, I don't know why I forget, but I know there was like 3 names. I think my mind was just like, what the fuck, these fucking assholes. So a lot of their attack on me was really all about the church. That was like, and Melissa, like me not liking Melissa. And like, I can feel everybody in the courtroom thinking, okay, like I have to like Melissa, but she can punch me in the head and I'm being forced to like her. So the guardian, when he was here, he was like so positive and so nice and acting like my place is so nice. And the kids are so happy with me and all of these things. Well, he did not say that. He says that the kids are, that he went and saw them after my visit on Sunday and the next day, and that he said that all they said was like, we went to Topgolf again. They haven't expressed that they want more time with me or not. Well, they don't know what to say to this man, okay? And that I have to stop talking about Melissa, but honestly, I've only talked about Melissa one time, and that was in the beginning, and I just had to give my children a quick rundown of the truth of the situation, and I have no desire to talk to her or be anywhere near her or around her, and I just want to be left alone. And that is what I also said in court. I just want to be left alone from Gino and Melissa, and that's what I said at the end. And what I should have said is to Gino, I should have said, does Melissa like me? I should have asked him that question, but I forgot. So I didn't think of it at the time. And then the last question I asked Gino was, Gino, do you think that I deserve to not have my children? And, you know, he has a mask on, but the whole time, like, knowing him, I know his facial expressions and how he's feeling and what he's thinking. And he's just, like, staring at me, and he doesn't have any words. And Judge Benoni interrupted and said, that's not for him to decide. That's for the courts to decide. And I said no further questions. So anyways, I was really nice. I thank Judge Benoni a lot for, you know, bringing Rebecca in. So I'm like, maybe she's giving me, okay, so she's letting me know who's talking shit at Grace Life, which, whatever. She's giving me a chance to question Gino. She's giving me a chance to tell a little bit of my side of the story. She is bringing Rebecca in to question her on why the hell she said no more hours and everything's fine, okay? And I get to question Rebecca then too. Yay, I can't wait. And then she, at least is not calling the police on Jonathan like she threatened to the last time when actually I had brought my report to court. And she called flipping out before court, threatening to have the sheriff come out for the report. But I was bringing it to court like I always had, so that was something crazy. But anyways, so she didn't do that, and she's going to do this next hearing like immediately, she said, whenever she can fit it in her schedule next. So, and she was semi-nice, and I said, thank you. And I said multiple times, I just want to go on in peace here. Like, I am willing to do that. Please, I want to go on in peace and not deal with this anymore. And I even asked Gino, like, I do not want any of this. He tried to say that he was scared of me because I questioned him, like, hasn't it been fine? Is it true that it's been fine with you and I going to sports? Is it true that I get Caleb and Gianna's shoes and stuff on and off before and after practice, and then I send them over to you? And, is it true that I go to the bathroom after wrestling to give you time to leave and you're still waiting for me when I come out? Is it true that you held the door open for me when I left? I think the first question I asked him was, are you aware that Melissa punched me in the head? So anyways, he just rambles on and he starts telling these lies while he's rambling, trying to make me look bad and turn the story quickly around on me, and they're lies. So then I was able to ask a question like, you may have heard my other video about the doctor, like he's saying he's just acting like it's not a big deal or what's happened here with my kids and the vaccines and everything. And like, I just found some random doctor. Well, he was our doctor for years, and he was your doctor, who you went to multiple times. Okay, dude? Do you remember that? Do you recall performing CPR on Caleb? Why were you okay with them not being vaccinated all these years? He tried to tell me that Gianna has only had one vaccine ever, and that was in the hospital. So, until now. And that is assault on the immune system to give them all these fucking vaccines out of the blue. Anyways, it's the past. I cannot change it now. And I don't even know the answer of Caleb, what happened. He was probably vaccinated, but he had the appointment, and I tripped out. Anyways, I can't know. So anyways, I don't know what's going on, but like I said, the guardian did not act like that in court. Like, he just acted like my place was somewhat suitable, and they're still working on it. But it's suitable, but they still have work to do. And that, he has no parenting concerns. I have clothes, everything that they need, toothbrushes. I do need more clothes for the kids though, but it just, but then he was trying to act like Melissa was not being charged, and how he knew that she was being charged was because I posted it on Facebook, which Gino also said, and then I sent him that. And so when I went out to call Jonathan, so they're trying to tell me this whole time that there's no charges, even though Gino even testified that there were, and I'm saying in court, as Gino and I just testified, we've been told that the court or the cop has filed charges. So anyways, they said that form that the police gave me is not enough. Well, when I went out in the hallway to call Jonathan to try to get him on the phone during court, I texted a cop, this cop, Monroeville, friend of mine now. I said, have charges been filed? Because they're saying that they haven't been here at the court hearing. Yes, they've been filed. So I went back in the court hearing. So I'm I can't get a hold of Jonathan. And I just talked to a Monroeville cop, and charges have been filed. Judge Benoni's and Gino was trying to say that the police officer was really mad that I posted the report on Facebook. Hello, you know what? It's public information. And really, who is mad is Gino. They're mad that I'm posting this. Grace Life Church is mad that I'm exposing what they were doing and done. So this is what they're doing. Grace Life Church is working with Gino to keep my children from me. So anyways, I'm just praying to God that me and Judge Benoni can become friends now. And that she can, please God, see what a fucked up situation has happened and what Gino is the root cause of. And that, you know, I am the one who needs protected here from these people. Not anyone, no one needs protected from me. So, trying to think if there's any other juicy details. I think that's about it.